Hello, I'm sitting down here with Coach DeRoehn, head men's wrestling coach, and I'm Sam Marchant. Just getting a recap of Roundup Regionals. And first things first, those that are around you know you bring the JU Ice. Talk about what the energy and enthusiasm you bring every day means.
Um, all right, so the energy and enthusiasm. I guess I look at coaching like okay, how would I want to be coached? Or even like I've got a couple daughters, like how would I want my kids to be coached,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if the coach doesn't bring any energy or enthusiasm, like how can we expect the kids to? Like if I'm not excited about what I'm doing, how can we expect the kids to be excited about it? So I always kind of think about it like the 5 a.m. DJ,
Yeah.
right? Because you never turn on the radio at 5 in the morning and you hear a DJ say, "Good morning, everyone. Glad you're here." They say, "Good morning, everyone. Here we are in Rockin' 105," right? They bring the energy. And then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, I'm awake. I'm ready to go. And so that's how I feel like coaches should be is, when you're running a practice, a lift, or whatever it is, you got to be the 5 a.m. DJ and bring some energy because otherwise, the kids are going to feel that and everything's going to be down. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody feeds off of energy, and speak for that as your strength and weight training program as well as for the softball team has
Mm-hmm.
built us, and we feel the JU ice. One thing that we talked about earlier on in the season was learning mental toughness. It's been groundbreaking for collegiate sports as of late. Talk about how you've helped your team with mental toughness and how that has impacted the team over the season.
Okay, so I mean, for us, it's not a thing like mental toughness itself. It's more about like um, it's just a day-to-day mindset. So it's not like, okay, today we're working on mental toughness and then we're going to put it aside. It's
Mm-hmm.
just what you're doing every day. And so how you get, say, mentally tougher. Like I always tell the guys, like toughness is a learned skill.
Mm-hmm.
So you learn to get tough by doing tough things. And then once you experience those things, you can kind of go like, oh, like, wow, that was tough, but I'm fine. I guess I can come back and do it again, and then you can, and then all of a sudden, what used to be pretty tough isn't really as tough anymore because you're mentally and physically conditioned to it, and so that's just a big part of it. And the other thing is just we talk a lot about like uh, like the concept of like the word courage
Mm-hmm.
is a powerful word, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so if we would say, okay, if a firefighter is going to run into a burning building and save someone, we would say like, wow, they're like that's courageous,
Yeah.
right? Like that's a very powerful emotion, and so it gets magnified then by what kind of like what prefix you choose to put on the word, right? So you actively choose, am I going to be in every situation, am I going to use this to become encouraged or am I going to use this to become discouraged, right? And we know that courage is powerful.
Right.
So is it powerful in a way that's going to help us or hurt us? So whatever we choose to think about expands, and however we choose to interpret whatever situation it is, it's like, okay, if you lose a match, you can choose to be discouraged and then you'll be down in the dumps for a couple days and oh geez, and or you can say, okay, well that sucked, but now I know what I need to work on. So I'm actively choosing to be encouraged, right, by going through that adversity. And then you actually keep that like growth mindset where everything is an opportunity to learn and grow. And so it's not it's not like just a thing. It's more of just a day-to-day mindset and how you choose to handle any sort of ups and downs. And I'm not saying like you should never like get upset or at something, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, besides like life-changing, really serious things, like winning and losing a wrestling match or having a bad practice or doing poorly on a test or whatever,
Yeah.
like I was trying to think like and encourage our guys to think like if it's not going to matter that much in 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
like in the grand scheme of life,
Right.
try not to let it bother you more than 5 minutes. Use your 5 minutes. If you're going to be ticked off, you can slap the son of a gun. 5 minutes goes by. Okay, let's let it go.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And so that's just kind of like a more of a mindset, a way of life.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked a lot about growth and how you've grown over the season, growing daily with that change in mindset of being courageous. Talk about how this team has grown from last year to this year, and then just throughout the season as well.
Yeah, so it has been a really fun season of growth and improvement. Obviously, whenever you're getting better, you're having a lot more fun. Um, and I think that's just a credit to our team. When I came here 2 years ago, there was really only 4 wrestlers on the team, and it was a really rough season. And so last year we brought in this group of freshmen who, they really just took a chance on me and like, okay, they don't even have a team there. And so a great group of kids that came in, and they were like the core foundation. And but our whole team was almost entirely freshmen last year, and so there's always a big learning curve. And so like we were much better last year than we were the year before. But once that whole crew of guys had an opportunity to get through, experience a college season, adjust to collegiate academics and the time demands and everything. So that year of maturity, I would say, like, has helped. But then also those guys, being totally bought into the culture of the program, the how we train, all that stuff. It's really a credit to the guys and their like maturity and their willingness to learn and grow, make some changes, whether it's in their skill set or we changed to our practice schedule this year. We do early morning practices. So just their willingness to buy in. We watch a lot of video. We're always trying to like be very intentional with our practice time. So like we're gonna get better, like if we just keep doing these things. And so I would say that the growth and the improvement has come from that. It's all the credit is to the guys, and just I think they've cleaned up their lifestyle too. I think that's been something that we had to get better from in the past, and and they responded positively to that. And so just props to the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a good team culture and family building here. What is one thing that you're most excited for going into regionals, as you just came off of a tournament where you were pretty successful, finishing fourth and behind 3 of the top ranked teams in the nation? What does that mean where now you go get a chance to compete just regionally and you're still facing tough competition? How does that translate, and how does that boost the energy and the courage going into that?
Yeah, so we went to the Mid-State Invitational down in Indiana, and we got to see a bunch of teams that we just never see. So Indiana and Ohio, Michigan teams, whatever. And it was cool because sometimes when you compete against an opponent that you know nothing about, you're almost like wrestle more free because you're like, hey, I don't know what they do. They don't know what I do. So I'm just going to go out and rip it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And so, but typically when you do that, you wrestle free and you do some of your best wrestling. And then it just happens to be like, oh, shoot, like we competed really well against some really good teams. So I think the lesson from that is, it doesn't really matter. It's not really like who you wrestle, but it's how you wrestle, right? Yeah. You can rearrange the letters in that word. Instead of WHO, you can move this one over here, HOW, how you wrestle. Because nothing really changes from when we were wrestling in our gym here a couple weeks ago at home. And pretty much you got the 42 by 42 mat. You go out, you shake hands. The referee blows the whistle. You got a score clock, whatever. And you go out and execute your best skills. Right? You do that against CUW or whoever. And then you go down to Indiana and you see some teams, but they wear a different singlet, but it doesn't change. You still execute your best skills. And, if you're doing so and you see you have a great tournament, like you compete well because you wrestle free like that, then the lesson can be like, wow, I should probably just do that every time.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to matter who we're wrestling. So we're going to go and see some great competition at the region. But if you go into it with the mindset like your opponents are really nameless and faceless, you're just going out and, hey, I have to execute my skills. I have to be in good position. I have to move my feet. You have to trust in your training and all those things. But really, you're going to execute the same set of skills that you do really well, regardless of opponent. And so, it gave us a chance to practice that against those teams that we don't normally see, who are also, like you mentioned, there were some highly ranked teams there. Now we have that opportunity going into the regionals to do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That leads me into the final question. What are you most excited for going into regionals?
Man, most excited for? I don't know. That's hard because I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited about a lot of different things, but I don't know. Just I guess I would say just a chance for our guys to represent our school with pride, and we've really continued to jump levels, and we got a long way to go for where we want to be.
right.
But like for our guys to go out and compete well and represent Lakeland at the region. So just for context, like Lakeland hasn't even had a wrestler earn all region honors since 2017, and
Yeah,
so we've got guys who are very capable of doing that. Like it's something where these guys that are with us right now, they have an opportunity to kind of like get things back to where we were, many years ago, where we were nationally competitive. And so I'm excited to see guys go out and kind of like plant that flag and say like we're here and we're going to compete and we're going to keep getting better. And so that's what I'm excited for, is to see the guys just go out and execute to the best of their ability. And I think if they do that, we're going to have some good results, and it's going to be another kind of milestone for us to hit as we keep rebuilding the program.
yeah, absolutely. All things trending in the right direction here for Muskie men's wrestling. Rounding it up with regionals with Coach D. I'm Sam Marchant, and we are grateful for a strong weekend of wrestling coming ahead.
Go Muskies!